going to do a monster show. We've never done anything like this before. I bet they're waiting for us already. Oh, come on, Theo, say something.
Today's subject is sharks.
Sharks? Is that it? Is that all you're going to say about the subject? I've never seen you like this, Theo. Yes, sharks. We're gonna look at them, touch them. Hey, we're even gonna dive with them. I can hardly wait. Come on, Theo, let it roll.
You go on ahead. I'll be right there.
Elegantly, they glide through the water. Unerringly, they locate their prey. In a flash, they attack. Sharks are the perfect predators. They fascinate and frighten us at the same time. Sharks are at home in all oceans, in the warm waters of the Caribbean, and in the cold streams of the Arctic. They are amongst the oldest creatures on our planet. They even existed before dinosaurs. Their physical structure and way of life have barely changed over millions of years. Today, there are over 400 kinds of sharks, such as the strange wabigong, also known as the carpet shark, or the hammerhead shark with its broad snout. And of course, dangerous hunters like the great white and the tiger shark. When these strange-looking creatures attack, the victim has little chance. Many people are afraid of them and believe them to be greedy monsters that eat whatever crosses their paths. Most of all, humans. But that's nonsense. Most of the 400 shark varieties are harmless. When sharks like the great white attack humans, it is usually a mistake. This is the result of scientific studies, like those of Dr. Enrique Cortez. He wants to learn more about the lives and habits of these fascinating creatures. He knows that sharks should be much more afraid of us than we are of them. The more Dr. Cortez and his colleagues understand about sharks around the world, the better they can protect them. Early in the morning, Dr. Cortez and his team head out to the sea from the Panama City laboratory. Their goal is the so-called shark nursery in an inlet off the coast of Florida. Many sharks go there to give birth. In the shallow lagunas, the young are protected from their enemies and can grow in safety. Dr. Cortez and his team plan to capture as many sharks as possible in order to examine them. The researchers want to find out how many and what kind of sharks live here in the Gulf of Mexico. They pick a spot where they believe many young sharks to be. Outside the nursery, the sharks are in danger because their parents leave them on their own immediately after birth. Even baby sharks know how to hunt and survive. They are just like their parents, only smaller and not yet so strong. Sharks gestate in 3 different ways. The lemon shark, for instance, carries its young for 1 year, and they are nourished through an umbilical cord. The female finds a protected laguna to give birth in, sinks to the ocean floor, and gives birth to between 8 and 12 young at a time. The great white and most other shark types also have live births. They grow in a uterus, but they are surrounded by an eggshell and nourished by a yolk. The cat shark does it differently. The young don't grow in their mother's uterus. The female lays a fertilized egg which she attaches to a water plant with a sort of thread. After 9 or 10 months, the shark baby hatches. Some shark types then live to be up to 70 years old.
Here come real sharks! Unbelievable! Hey, Theo, aren't you excited at all?
Yeah, great, Tess. But I'm afraid we're a little too late. The scientists have already left.
Left? Well, let's go after them. Come on!
Dr. Cortez and his team have reached their destination. Now they have to capture the sharks in order to carry out their examinations. A large net, over 300 feet long, is thrown into the water. The small sharks should get caught in it, then eventually be taken aboard. As they wait, Dr. Cortez and his colleague prepare their scientific instruments. The water is tested to determine which quality of water the young sharks prefer. Then the researchers don rubber boots, thick pants, and gloves so as not to injure themselves while pulling in the net. The time has come. The net is pulled aboard. The first shark to be freed from the ropes is an Atlantic sharp-nosed shark. Dr. Cortez immediately recognizes that it is a young male. He must be careful. The animal is still relatively small, but his teeth are razor sharp. Without these jagged teeth, sharks would have difficulty capturing their prey. At first, it looks like they would have a hard time because their mouths are on the underside of their head. That's why it was once believed that they had to turn onto their backs before attacking. In reality, though, they have a flexible jaw, which is only loosely attached to their skull. When the shark opens its mouth to bite, its snout goes up, and its lower jaw juts out as its teeth dig firmly into its victim. When it shakes its prey, its teeth function like a saw, tearing out pieces of meat. A few teeth often get stuck or break off, but that doesn't matter. Sharks continue to grow new teeth, and they have several rows of them. If one tooth falls out, another comes through within a matter of hours. It's called a revolver set of teeth. Within its lifetime, a shark can have thousands of teeth. Although all sharks are carnivores, they have different types of teeth depending on what they eat. The whale shark, for example, has practically no teeth. It doesn't need them either, because it doesn't hunt. It swims calmly, allowing water to flow through its mouth, and eats everything that comes along with it. The whale shark is the largest of all sharks. It can grow up to 42 feet long as a bus, and it weighs over 12 tons. But despite its immense size, it is absolutely harmless. For the true hunters, small fish are not enough. The great white shark, for example, can be as long as 21 feet and eats seals, dolphins, and smaller sharks.
We interrupt our show for a short commercial break.
What?
Are you fed up with brushing your teeth every day and still getting cavities over and over again?
Yeah, I guess.
And are you fed up with having to go to the dentist all the time for unpleasant treatments?
I sure am.
You see? And that's all over now. No more tooth problems ever again. Thanks to our revolutionary revolver teeth, recommended by leading predators. All the teeth you can get. If one breaks off, just pull up another one, as often as you like. Feel free with an unlimited supply of teeth, as long as you live.
That sounds great. Where can I buy a set of those?
Available in leading underwater locations for people with big mouths.
Sharp teeth, strength, and speed alone don't make sharks such excellent hunters. They also have finely attuned senses for finding their prey, as this example shows. A great white shark cruises the sea. Suddenly it hears a sound. An injured seal agitates the water, creating sound waves which reach the shark's ears. Sharks have exceptional hearing. The great white goes after its prey. As it swims toward the source of the sound waves, its nose is also at work. The shark can smell the injured seal's blood, even at a great distance. Sharks have a highly developed sense of smell. They have nostrils on the underside of their heads. Water flows through these nostrils so that sharks can detect an injured animal, even if it has lost just a few drops of blood. This great white shark has smelled blood. Its sense of smell was correct. The seal is nearby. Now another important instinct sets in, the electrosensory component of the shark's sensory system. Sharks can sense electrical charges. These electrical fields are created by even the smallest of muscular movements. The organ with which the shark senses the movements is called the ampulla of Lorenzini. It is made up of numerous minuscule holes around the snout. The electrical field sense helps the shark find its prey and tells it where to bite. Now the great white shark is sure it's found something to eat. It heard and felt the seal's movement. It smelled the blood. It sensed the electrical currents, and at last it sees the seal. It races toward the animal and attacks. The feared tiger shark finds its prey similarly to the great white. Sometimes the shark's senses are over-attuned and they go temporarily haywire. Experts have then observed what they term a blood frenzy. This can happen if a shark kills something especially large. Its constant snapping and the large amount of blood attract other sharks. They all want to eat and join in on the feeding frenzy. So are sharks detestable monsters? To the contrary, sharks are very modest. They don't need much food, and some can even go for months without eating. A full-grown blue shark, for example, will only eat about 220 pounds in an entire year.
Man, Theo, you move like a C6 slug. Wait a minute. This is where they ought to be.
Yeah, right. But it looks like they went ahead and left without us. Wait, I have an idea how we can catch up with those scientists.
The researchers pull other sharks out of the sea to examine them. The shark is carefully laid out on a measuring board. Its size and species are determined. Then it has to be released again quickly, or else it will suffocate. Humans get their oxygen from the air and breathe through lungs. Sharks get their oxygen from the water and breathe through gills. The gills are long, thin slits on the sides of the head. Today, the research team is lucky. They catch one small shark after another. The next one they retrieve from the water is a small hammerhead shark. After it is measured, Dr. Cortez inserts a marker in its fin. This doesn't hurt the shark. The plastic tab has a registration number and the address of the research team on it. Should it be caught again, the researchers can see if it has changed in any way. The examination is over, and the little shark swims quickly back to the nursery in the laguna. The slender build of the shark is ideal for fast swimming. The mako shark is the fastest of all sharks. It shoots through the water at speeds of up to 38 miles per hour. The powerful tail fin propels the shark forward. Their skin also helps them glide quickly and easily through the water. It is not smooth as it first appears, but rather jagged and sharp. These skin teeth, as they are called, are actually tiny hooked thorns through which the water is channeled, so the shark is not slowed down by the water.
And you think this is the right place?
Well, of course.
I really hate to disagree with you, Theo, but didn't they go out by boat?
Yes, of course. There they are. I can see them.
Great. And how are we going to get out there, Mr. Theo?
Out there? We don't have to get out there.
Wait a minute. Could it be that you're actually scared of sharks? Oh, I get it. Just because Mr. Super Chicken is scared, we're gonna miss the whole shark show. Forget it. Let's go, Quentin. I've had it. We're gonna follow Dr. Cortez on our own.
A frightening scenario. We're playing in the waves. Suddenly, a shark fin appears, heading toward us. The film version is seldom reality. Sharks rarely attack humans. Some areas are more dangerous than others. Sharks usually attack in shallow waters where bathers and surfers are concentrated. Because this is where sharks hunt for their fish, they unwillingly come into contact with humans as well. Scientists still can't exactly explain why sharks attack humans, but they believe it may be by accident. When their sensory systems play tricks on them. Sharks could confuse swimmers and surfers with seals. Seen from below, they look similar. The shark takes a bite at what it believes to be a seal, but immediately recognizes its mistake. Then, because it doesn't like the taste of humans or plastic surfboards, it swims away. Sharks are, in fact, very careful and shy. If they're not sure of what is in front of them, they observe it longer. They circle it and nudge it with their snout, or they rub their rough skin against it to see what comes off. They test it to make sure it's what they want. In this situation, a diver can attempt to scare off the shark. Sometimes swimming toward it or screaming works, but the most important thing is to remain calm. Violent movements only make the shark curious and anxious to attack. A few tips can help reduce the risk of a shark attack. First, never go into the water alone. If you are in a group, the shark will think the catch is too big and go somewhere else. Second, don't go swimming at night because that's when sharks are wide awake and hunting. Third, never go swimming with a bleeding wound. Sharks can smell even tiny drops of blood with their super sensitive nostrils. And finally, shark sightings and warnings should be taken seriously. Most sharks are completely harmless for humans. Most of them live in the deep sea so that we will never even see them. And not all shores are home to dangerous sharks. But there are people who actually seek out sharks. They pay money to experience the predators of the deep firsthand. Going shark diving, divers actually feed the sharks. And through the thick steel bars of this cage, one can see directly into the open jaws of a great white shark. Without this protection, no one would venture that close to a great white. But most sharks are harmless. Humans are their greatest enemy, making them the prey. Millions of sharks are killed every year around the world. Fishermen kill them for fun. Some kill them solely for their fins, because they are considered a delicacy in some countries. Many sharks die in protection nets around beaches or get caught accidentally in fishing nets. More sharks die every year than are born. 70 kinds of sharks are endangered. In the shark nurseries off the coast of Florida, there are approximately 15 different types of sharks. The goal of Dr. Cortez and his team is to preserve them. They examine, measure, and mark the animals in order to keep track of them. If their numbers dwindle, they can establish a protected reserve for the sharks. The day's work is done. Dr. Cortez releases the last shark back into the water. The team stows the measuring instruments and pulls in the nets. The decks are cleared for the return journey. Tomorrow, Dr. Cortez and his colleagues will visit another inlet. They will cast out their nets, examine the young sharks, and mark them, so that the sharks can thrive in their nurseries, and we continue to learn more about these fascinating predators of the deep.
Hi, and how was it?
Spectacular! The sharks even ate from the diver's hands. Unfortunately, it was all much too short.
Oh no, why is that?
Hey, because we were much too late thanks to your procrastinating. But we brought you something anyway. It helps if you're afraid of sharks.
Really? What's that?
Oh! We figured you'd be better off starting out with little fish.